In a forgotten town, swallowed by an endless forest, an old house stood, rotting, waiting. The locals called it the Whispering House, a name they feared to speak too loudly. They whispered of ghostly sounds, cries and murmurs that haunted the night. Some saw shadows in its windows, others heard voices carried on the wind. No one dared approach, and those who did were never the same. But Lily? She laughed at ghost stories. Her eyes gleamed with excitement, scrolling through tales of the Whispering House. Young, fearless, and hungry for thrills, Lily Vlogger haunted places for her fans. The screen glowed with eerie photos, pulling her deeper into the mystery. Under a veiled moon, Lily packed her gear, her heart racing with anticipation. Her silhouette vanished into the night, chasing a story she didn't understand. She walked alone, the forest hum fading, swallowed by an unnatural silence. The trees seemed to watch, their branches clawing at the starless sky. The house emerged, its broken frame a skeleton under the moon's pale glow. Her breath caught, eyes wide, as the house's shadow loomed over her. Her hand trembled, the house exhaling a warning she ignored. The door groaned open, revealing a void that seemed to breathe. A cold draft hit her, laced with decay and a faint, metallic tang. Her face tightened, just dancing in the beam of her flashlight. Lily turned on her camera, her voice steadying. "Let's see what's inside." The lens captured darkness, her shaky breath echoing in the silence. The air grew thick, heavy, as if the house held its breath. Each step crunched, the floorboards groaning like a living thing. Her flashlight flickered, revealing decay, peeling walls, shattered memories. The house sighed, its walls creaking with a soft, eerie rhythm. A whisper grazed her ear, cold and intimate, stopping her dead. Drawn forward, she entered a small room, the air pulsing with dread. The whispers swelled, circling her, sourceless, inescapable. "Is someone there?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. The camera flickered, static tearing through her view of the dark. The screen warped, glitching, as if something was clawing through. The door slammed shut, the sound shattering the silence. She pounded on the door, her screams swallowed by the house's hunger. A giggle echoed, twisted, far away, and utterly wrong. The whispers became words, chilling her soul. "Stay with us, forever." Her mind frayed, her name slipping like sand through her fingers. Visions flooded her, pale hands, melting faces, whispers inside her skull. The camera fell, clattering, its lens still watching her unravel. The whispers turned to screams, tearing through her mind. Her strength failed. She collapsed, dust rising around her. From the floor, it recorded her empty stare as shadows closed in. The flashlight died. The shadows slithered closer, their whispers plunging her into absolute darkness. In the void, the camera caught her, standing, smiling, her eyes hollow. A faint image lingered, her smile, unnatural, eternal. Morning came, and her camera lay outside, abandoned in the dirt. They watched the footage, static, until one frame froze their blood. Words flickered on the screen. "Stay, you belong here." Days later, another vlogger followed her path, chasing the same thrill. A whisper drifted through the trees, soft, beckoning, alive. The house loomed in the lens, its windows like eyes that never blinked. The door creaked open, inviting him into its depths. His hand shook, the camcorder catching his first step into the trap. A cold wind blew from within, unnatural, against all reason. The lens trembled, capturing a darkness that seemed to move. A whisper brushed his ear, too close, too real. His finger froze on the button, the whisper clinging to his skin. "Hello? Who's there?" he called, trying to sound brave. His eyes searched the dark, the whisper now inside his head. A voice answered, not human, not from this world. The screen tore apart, static screaming as something broke through. Voices filled his mind, not around him, but within. The camera fell, its lens catching his final moments. The wreck light pulsed, his reflection fading into the house's embrace. A cursed forest looms, where moonlight struggles through gnarled branches, hiding a village lost to time. Decaying houses with shattered windows stare like empty skulls. Elliot, a young artist craving inspiration, steps into the cursed woods. His fingers tremble, clutching the sketchbook as twisted branches loom around him. With every step, his boots crush dead leaves as the forest reaches toward him, hungry for his fear. The forest feels alive, its twisted trees casting shapes that watch him move. Under a twisted tree, Elliot sketches a shadowy figure, unaware something unseen guides his hand. The lines on the page pulse unnaturally, glowing red as the shadowy figure begins to take shape. Darkness swallows the forest, and the air grows thick with an unnatural silence. Elliot's lantern flickers, unseen eyes gleam from the underbrush, tracking his every movement. He spins, heart pounding, but only darkness greets him, no sound, just dread. The figure in his drawing grows clearer, a faceless silhouette with glowing, crimson eyes. The forest awakens, branches curling like skeletal fingers, trapping Elliot. A chilling whisper surrounds him. Draw, complete me. Urging his pencil onward, shadows twist across the ground, mimicking the drawing's form, as whispers echo faintly. Fear grips Elliot, but his hand moves against his will, finishing the monstrous figure. The paper glows, and the shadow slithers out, merging with the forest's darkness. The shadow beneath the marsh towers over Elliot, its red eyes burning with malice. The entity's form shifts, mimicking Elliot's drawing, dripping with black ooze. The sketchbook lands in mud, pages fluttering briefly, claws loom nearby. Its voice rumbles, "You gave me life." As Elliot scrambles to escape, the forest turns hostile, roots tripping him, vines coiling like serpents around his ankles. His breath clouds in the cold air, but the shadow's eyes pierce through the fog. It melts into the ground, reappearing closer, flickering like a broken film reel. Elliot realizes the drawing is the key, the tether binding the entity to this world. With a cry, he rips the sketch apart, scattering fragments like ash in the wind. The entity shrieks in agony, but doesn't vanish. The pieces dissolve into the night. But as it fades, the shadow's claw latches onto Elliot, pulling him toward the marsh. Elliot digs his fingers into the mud, but the force drags him down into the dark waters. The water closes over him, leaving only ripples and his sketchbook behind. Sunlight pierces the canopy, casting a fragile glow over the now silent forest. But unease lingers. The sketchbook rests open, its pages blank, as if the forest erased Elliot's final work. The water stirs subtly, hinting that something still lurks beneath, waiting to reclaim what was lost. The abandoned houses lean closer, guarding the forest's darkest secret. The crow caws sharply, its eyes glinting red before it flies away. The sketchbook pages flutter, stopping on a blank sheet, darkening with faint, moving lines. A grotesque visage emerges, twisting into a grin that wasn't drawn by Elliot. A low, guttural laugh echoes from the marsh, mocking the dawn's light, filling the air with dread. The sketchbook snaps shut on its own, trembling slightly, sealing the entity within. A curious girl from the village finds the book and opens it cautiously, unaware of the danger inside. The shadowy face pulses, its eyes locking onto hers, whispering softly. She stumbles back, fear overtaking her, as the forest closes in around her. The page is blank once more, but the faint scratch of a pencil sounds, as if the drawing itself is coming to life. Shadows lengthen, the air heavy with the same dread Elliot felt as the curse resurfaces. The girl runs through the village, the trees leaning inward, forming a cage-like tunnel trapping her. She finds no one, doors locked, windows boarded up. Panicked, the girl runs into an abandoned house, desperately barricading the door. Panting, she pushes the door with all her might, trying to hold something back. The shadow outside the door begins to move, as if charging toward the house. She hears a strange noise behind her and turns around, face filled with fear. She runs into a room, slams the door shut, pressing her back against the wall. She stares at the door, breathing heavily, as eerie noises echo from beyond. The door bursts open suddenly. Darkness floods in with overwhelming fear. She stumbles back, screaming in terror as the darkness surrounds her. The shadow reaches for her, preparing to drag her into the night. The shadow engulfs her, and the light fades, leaving only darkness. The marsh ripples gently, and the dark entity's laughter fills the air. The sketchbook opens. Blank pages begin to move, as if an invisible force is drawing. The marsh bubbles ominously again, darkness taking over, a strong wind blowing. The sketchbook slams shut abruptly, eerie laughter echoing from the marsh. A small town lies under a moonless night, fog curling through empty streets. James, a young man, steps out of a diner, his breath visible in the cold air. A distant church bell tolls, its sound warped and eerie, echoing unnaturally. James walks down a dark alley, streetlights flickering, casting long shadows. A pale, bony hand darts out from the shadows, then vanishes instantly. Heavy footsteps echo behind him, growing louder, closer with every step. James turns, freezing. A cloaked figure stands under a streetlight, head bowed. The figure's hood shifts slightly, revealing a glimpse of pale skin. The nun raises her head, her face bone white, eyes black void staring blankly. James screams, sprinting away, the nun gliding after him, unnaturally fast. He reaches an abandoned church, its wooden doors slamming shut behind him. Inside, moonlight spills through broken windows, illuminating dusty pews. Whispers fill the air, like dozens of voices praying, but no one is there. A crucifix on the altar flips upside down, blood dripping from its edges. James stumbles back, tripping over an old Bible, its pages fluttering wildly. The Bible's pages stop, revealing a drawing of the nun's twisted face. The nun appears inches from James, her cracked mouth hissing a guttural sound. James bolts up a creaking wooden staircase, each step threatening to collapse. He bursts into a small room, walls covered in paintings of the nun's warped face. One painting crashes to the floor, revealing a hidden door behind the wall. James opens the door, stepping into a dark hallway lined with strange symbols. His flashlight flickers, casting jagged shadows on the carved walls. The nun appears at the hall's end, her head tilted at an impossible angle. James runs, but the hallway stretches endlessly, walls closing in around him. The nun's raspy laugh echoes, coming from every direction at once. James TR away, illuminating the nun's scarred feet. The flashlight spins, briefly showing her claws scraping the floor. He crawls to a corner, spotting an old mirror reflecting the nun behind him. James smashes the mirror, shards flying, but her laugh grows louder. He finds a staircase leading to a basement, no other way out. In the basement, faint light reveals cages filled with human bones. A cage door creaks open, its hinges screaming in the silence. The nun slithers out from the cage, her body twisting in unnatural ways. He reaches an old altar, a wooden box engraved with a cross on top. The nun's claws scrape closer, leaving gouges in the stone floor. James opens the box, finding a vial of holy water glowing faintly. He splashes the water at the nun, her scream shaking the walls as she burns. The nun dissolves into collapse, the basement trembling violently. James sprints out as the church collapses, debris exploding behind him. He stands in the nearby graveyard, panting, believing he's safe. A pale hand bursts from the dirt, grabbing his ankle with crushing force. James screams, kicking free, stumbling back into the fog. The graveyard grows quiet, fog swallowing the church ruins. His flashlight flickers out, plunging him into total darkness. A faint whisper begins, the nun's voice chanting his name softly. A single candle flickers nearby, casting her shadow on a tombstone. The nun's face looms over him, her black eyes wide, unblinking. James runs blindly, branches snapping as he crashes through the woods. The nun glides after him, her cloak billowing like a living shadow. He trips over a root, landing face first in the dirt, gasping for air. The nun's hand reaches down, her claws inches from his face. A sudden gust of wind blows dust, obscuring her for a moment. James scrambles up, spotting a rusted gate leading out of the woods. He pushes through the gate, collapsing on the other side, exhausted. The town lies silent, no lights, no sound, as if abandoned entirely. James' hand shakes as he pulls out his phone. The screen cracked and dead. He hears a creak and turns. A door in a nearby house swings open slowly, and the door's hinges groan, revealing only darkness inside. The nun's silhouette fills the doorway, her head twitching unnaturally. James bolts again, his footsteps echoing in the empty streets. The nun appears at every corner, her form flickering like a broken film. He ducks into an alley, pressing himself against a brick wall, breathless. The nun's shadow stretches across the wall, growing larger, closer. A rat scurries past, startling him, breaking the silence. Her claws graze his shoulder, leaving a burning scratch. James finds a storm drain, crawling inside, barely fitting through. The nun peers into the drain, her face distorted, mouth stretching wide. Inside, James crawls faster, water splashing, his heart pounding. He emerges in a ditch, the town now far behind, fog still thick. The nun's laugh echoes, closer than before. Her black eyes appear in the fog, staring directly at him. The screen glitches, her face flashing closer with each flicker. Darkness swallows everything, leaving only James' scream, then silence.